is asking, how long does it take to train a new sales rep before they can generate sales on their own? Great question.
Well, I feel like it's a process. You
But
know,
but how long initially? So you hire someone with no experience, bartered there yesterday. How long will it take your company to train him to start selling roofs?
I would say for them to be fully self-supporting, it can take years, but selling on their own, it could probably depends on what step they are on the process. But I would say about a month.
1 month you can train people to. Do your sales guys mainly door knock?
That's a portion of it, yeah. Um, a huge portion of our business is referrals, and networks. I'm really good with my guys on networking and how to do that.
BMI groups?
BMI groups, just various like one of my favorite things to say is like, do you know your car insurance agent? And like I ask my guys, their car insurance agents every year. And like more and more raise their heads, but all the new ones never do. And I say, good, find a new one.
Why is that question?
Because you can meet an insurance agent that you can get a source of referral from and explain to them what you do and how you can help them with their business and they can help you with their business.
Got it. All right. Other question. Doss says, I have known Aaron for a long time. He's a great guy and an awesome business owner. Alex Rodriguez asks, what was the revenue and how has he gone about building his sales team? You don't have to answer if you don't want. I promise him I'm not going to dig into sales numbers because I feel like we focus a little bit too much on it, but it's up to you how you want to answer this question.
I mean, combined as an entity, we'll probably do, if we acquire these two more entities, over 300 million this year.
300 million this year.
Yes.
Where are they? Like, so you're here in Minneapolis, one of the biggest players. Where are
I'm
they?
not the biggest player.
One of.
One of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. We're in 17 states, soon to be 27, I believe, something like that.
Got it. Let's guys ask questions if you're curious about something. Do your sales reps communicate with customers using their personal cell phones, or do you provide work phones numbers for them?
Personal numbers.
Personal numbers.
Yes.
What happens if you lose them? And how often does it happen? Like if you lose a sales rep, what happens to his leads if it's company leads or?
Usually like their manager will follow up on them, and they should have a good, sense on what they're doing. And usually if someone's leaving, they're not being successful. So a lot of their leads usually aren't very good in the jobs. Like,
I see. Give one advice to someone who's just getting started, like brand new, fresh, decided to open a business.
it's not worth it. Don't jump over dollars to save pennies.
It's not worth it. It's
Like
not,
just some fights like I've got into in hindsight. Like I wish I wouldn't have done that. Whether it's like with a homeowner or a sales rep or someone, like if I'm right, like sometimes it's just not worth it.
so don't fight it. Let it
Like
go.
you can fight it, but it's just like how hard do you fight it, to what extent? You know? Like good example is a homeowner wants me to pay $5,000 to some tree that he said died. That tree probably isn't worth $5,000, but don't spend years in legal trying to fight the $5,000. Like it's just not worth it.
So grow thicker skin. Let it go more often.
Yeah. Like instead of being that tree's not $5,000 tree, like it's just not worth it.
I like it. I like it. What are the common mistakes do you see the young guys do? Now, here's my question: Have 80 sales reps? So you probably have it happen to you. Uh, have you have someone stealing your yard signs from job sites
Yeah.
like competition?
I've had people drive over them. I've had
Really?
people call being furious about jobs. And like,
Why is that happening? Like, how crazy is Minnesota for that culture?
I don't feel like I have such a good sense because I'm not on the ground as much as I used to be like a couple years ago. But I would say Minnesota is one of the most competitive markets in the nation, next to Florida, Texas, and Colorado. Like, Minnesota, like I always joke, and it's like a hailstorm goes off and you're on a roof and you see 10 other contractors drive by. Like,
Here's what I did notice. Usually, the most aggressive guys on the street never make it long term, never make really big numbers, and usually have so many personal issues. That's where drugs, alcohol, and like that rage culture, just I don't know if they're in it for very short time, for that summer, for that, like, I don't know why they're behaving like this, but this gotta stop. If you guys are stealing someone's yard signs, it's wrong. I mean, how do you feel about them knocking the doors? Would your sales guys knock at doors if the yard sign already there from competition?
no.
You would respect it, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I want them to do. Like, I don't have control, and like I'm not gonna sit here and guarantee that's never happened.
Of course, of course.
But like that's not something I encourage. Like I like to see people build cool roofs. Like I get excited, still to see that stuff, whether it's you or somebody else.
There's enough work for everyone.
Yes.
But I feel like after the storm, I mean, some of the stories, like not only in the groups, I mean, I've seen fist fights outside of supply houses, even Home Depots and stuff. You go to the store, like people start fighting in neighborhoods, like stealing yard signs. It's nasty.
I mean, like I can think of the amount of homeowners that call and say, "Oh my God, we're worried about your contract or something." Oh, we don't worry about it. You want to go with someone else? Go with someone else, and that ends up winning us the deal back. Which we're almost talking them out of, or they have something, and we're just like, whatever, we don't care. Like it's such a bad business practice to force someone to do something they don't want to do. Regardless of how much money you like or effort you think this job is yours and how much money you're gonna make, if that homeowner doesn't want you to roof his house, I guarantee you it's probably not gonna go well.
Well, here's what I want to know about your training, dealing with insurance adjusters. Do you see increase of denials by big players? How do you work with insurance companies? How do you deal with denials? What's your process there? Supplements, the whole insurance game.
Just respect them. Like you hear all the nightmare stories about like contractors leaving insurance adjusters, on the roof or fighting with them. And it's like they got a job to do, we got a job to do. Thank you for your time today. Great to see you another day. I mean, there's some insurance companies right now who like I feel like are not doing the best job by their homeowners. And then sometimes I sit back and look at an insurance company do something that I don't understand too. Like,
Well, they're unpredictable, especially here in Minnesota. And I would say Minnesota is a great state for restoration, but they're absolutely not predictable. You will see roofs that they approve that should never be approved, and you'll see roofs that, I mean, it's smashed, and it's just. But when do you fight? Like if your sales reps comes to you and say, "Well, look at this damage," and they're not buying it, what's your option? What tools do you have? Do you work with the PAs? Do you work with the like? What do you do?
I'm not a big fan of PAs. We have some estimators that will correct estimates in house. And, it comes down to the homeowners. Like, you never want to force a homeowner to fight a claim they don't want to fight.
Of course.
So like I always have the homeowner be the first line of defense and then we back the homeowner up. So it's how do you train and equip the homeowner to combat the insurance company themselves and give them the supporting documentation or the estimate? Because I feel like the homeowners are more likely to get anything done than a contractor.